Dr. Andy Hickson, on location in Liverpool with Bullybox TV. And with me today is Layla Flaherty. Layla, did I get your surname right?
You did,
I did. Would you like to introduce yourself to our audience?
Sure. My name is Layla Flaherty. I'm 31 years of age. I'm from Ireland, living in Liverpool. You may know me as I played a character on Desperate Scousewives. I've done many more TV projects, but Desperate Scousewives would be my main kind of what people would know me from.
Okay, so Desperate Scousewives, I believe you're also on Celebrity Salon?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Okay, so you're an actress, you're a model?
I wouldn't call myself an actress, more reality TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actress. And you've also got a diploma in speech and drama.
Yes, yeah.
And have you also do some training or run sessions with special needs groups, children?
I actually studied mental health for 4 years. Yeah.
So what took you into modelling and performance?
I started modelling and performance, I think, from the age of 12. I think my mum noticed how tall I was at such a young age. So rather than, and I was kind of always, I wasn't really carrying myself, as I should. My posture, I was kind of more awkward about my height. So she put me into modelling at about the age of 12, just for confidence issues. And I loved it, absolutely loved it. And again, I suppose it helped me, understand fashion, myself, and just as a female, I really enjoyed it. So I continued doing that for up until about the age of 25, 26. And then I kind of took more of a backseat, and it was more a hobby then, really.
So what took you into performance, into reality TV?
Reality TV happened by pure chance. I had just finished studying my mental health degree in university. There was producers in Liverpool, and they were casting for obviously for this new TV show.
Okay.
So it seemed exciting. Obviously, with the hype around Towie and Meeting Chelsea and all these other reality TV shows. So obviously, it wasn't an easy decision. I thought, do I really want to take the route? I've just spent 4 years studying mental health. Do I want to go down that route, or do I want to take this, this kind of opportunity, this gamble to take the reality TV route? So yeah, after kind of much consideration and talking with friends and family, I decided to go for it. So I took a year out. That was the intention initially, just to take that 1 year gap.
So did you finish the course at university?
I had actually 6 months left in uni.
6 months
Yeah,
left.
6 months left. So that's why it was such a hard decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you ever been tempted to go back and do that final year?
I have, and I actually did try to go back after Desperate Scousewives, and they unfortunately wouldn't let me because of the character that I played on TV, and they saw that as like a high risk, because I worked with like high index, high profile people, and obviously people with they would have had like a criminal past, and it was kind of the boundary between me as a nurse and me as a reality TV star. There would have been blurred boundaries for some people, so that it just would have put me in as a high risk.
I see. So because of your, it was a script-based reality TV.
Yeah, but people don't understand that. Obviously, they think reality TV is reality.
Yeah.
It was me, exactly. They don't understand that when you go in that day, that you are told that this is the way you're going to react to this person, and this is what's going to happen. And unfortunately, people think it's gospel. That is the person that they see. So
how did that make you feel?
Oh, I felt it was horrible. I really, every day it was like I was upset. I was crying. I was saying, this isn't me. I'm a strong, independent female. And I was being portrayed as this like bunny boiler, and it was just horrible. It was really distressing.
No, I bet. You've done 3.5 years at university.
Yeah.
And they're basing a decision not to accept you back on their perception of the type of person that you are.
Exactly.
Portrayed.
Exactly. And I was just going to say, like, I did offer as well to, like, even to finish my studies in a different area, you know, with like elderly, or, you know, it was just point blank no. And I appealed it 3 times. Yeah. But everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason, and you know, and as you said, I mean, you did start it off. It was a gamble. You took a risk.
Yeah.
Going on.
Yeah.
Desperate Scousewives.
Yeah.
Now, looking back upon reflection, do you think it was a risk worth taking?
For a good year after, I mean, I did put a lot of blame, because obviously my image, everything had been destroyed, really. You know, everyone had this perception of me, and it was always negative. And I felt like I had a point to prove to everyone, not just myself. It was always like if I met someone on the street and they said, "Oh, you're off that show," I always felt like I felt obliged to, "Oh my God, that's not really me," and, you know, I tried to portray the real me. And then, I mean, there's only so much of that you can do. As long as your close friends and family know the real you, that's all that should matter. But as human beings, I suppose we all want to be loved. So for the first year, I did have a lot of anger, hurt, pain, you know, and kind of begrudgement towards the whole thing. But now I look back and I think it's made me a better person. It's made me a stronger person, a much stronger person. And it's directed me now in a way where I'm kind of doing the things that I want to do finally in life. I don't do things to please other people. I do it to please me. So it's been good in that respect. So I've taken a complete career change, and I'm happy. Yeah, I'm much happier. Yeah.
Just one more point then on the reality show.
Yeah.
Do you feel it was explained to you when you started that there could be this sort of negative feedback or perception of you that is different from the real you?
Yeah, I mean, it was explained, definitely, you know, that there will be scenes that you may not want to do, or that there may be times when there may be a scene that may portray you in a different light, definitely. And they do, obviously, they have like psychologists and counselling and etc. on hand. But I think the way they do it is they don't actually explain at that time what the scene, how it's going to unravel and how it's going to make you look. They kind of sugarcoat it, make everything look and appear in a scene normal, you know. I mean, I never would have signed up if I knew I was going to be portraying a bunny boiler, chasing a guy around.
Okay.
And I mean, my character wasn't even that bad, where it was unheard of. I mean, it happens every day where a guy messes a girl around, and she might take the rejection issue to the next level. So it wasn't really that bad, but I just think because, I don't know, I just think like girl code, girls stick together, and I kind of didn't really have that, the girl code towards another girl that was on the scene.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it really got to people. But again, the producers kind of manipulated the whole scene and made it sound like I wasn't doing anything wrong. And you go into these things with your eyes closed because it's exciting.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like it's like so overwhelming and so new and exciting. You don't want to think of the negative. And obviously the producers don't tell you of negative, not of all the negative. So yeah, it's a very strange industry where things can be put, you know, kind of sugar-coated to make it appear different than what it is.
Is, as far as you know, all reality TV like that, or is some reality TV really reality, or is it all scripted to a greater or lesser degree?
I would probably say the one that would have the least amount of scripts would be Geordie Shore, because again, a lot of theirs is based around alcohol, and you can't really control drunk people. So, but obviously they will have a certain amount of scripts, you know, during the day when they have work or around relationships. That they'll will be guided and, you know, kind of influenced into what to do. But they will probably have the least scripts. But Towie definitely, Made in Chelsea, obviously our show. They're all scripted. Yeah.
And were you in the first series?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. How long did the series run for?
It was just the first series.
Sorry, yeah. How long did it last?
Oh, sorry. It was 8 to 9 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so afterwards, afterwards, what was the first thing you did?
Well, because of the role I had obviously on Desperate Scousewives, I tended to get a lot of interviews based around man-eater, kind of the kind of strong alpha female man-eater type character. People were very interested, I mean, press were very interested in finding out why I was doing what I was doing. So there was a lot of interest around that. Obviously, you know, the normal, the PAs and things like that, but I couldn't really keep that fake persona, you know, the character, when it wasn't a positive character. So I turned down an awful lot of work because I just didn't want to continue that. You know, that was my on-screen character. Do I now continue this off camera and continue, you know, let people think that that is really me? So it was very hard to kind of break, you know, to show. Exactly, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Trying to remember how you behave on a particular day and by doing it right.
Exactly, and me being the villain and other people were being loved, and I thought, no, because that isn't me. Yeah.
Right. For those people that haven't seen Desperate Scousewives, would you like to just give a brief description of how your character was portrayed, and then maybe how you feel you are? So just showing us some of the differences between the real Layla and the character that was portrayed in the series.
Well, series 1, episode 1, I wake up on a mattress. It's the morning after the night before, and I basically ask Joe, who is my love interest, to bring me a taxi, and he's already told me that he's already rang one, so he's like rushing me out of his space. So instantly, I kind of give the perception of that I've not really much respect for myself. He doesn't have much respect for me. I'm not really too bothered with the fact that he's already rang me a taxi, because later on that evening, I go around town looking to see what bar he's in, and I'm always chasing him rather than him coming to me. He is more interested in his ex-girlfriend. She's always really upset by the way he's treated her. So of course, everyone kind of sides with Alyssa straight away. She's got the sympathy vote, and I'm the villain who's getting in the way of the two of them. So each episode, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And yeah, in reality, I have a boyfriend, and I've had a boyfriend for 8 years. I was brought up by a single mum. So my mum taught me a lot of values, principles, and one thing I certainly wouldn't do would be chase a guy ever. We're very feminist type of women in our house. So it just went against everything that I believe in. And I'm also quite strong, independent, and on Desperate Scousewives, they made me very weak, vulnerable, kind of naive. So the complete opposite of what I am in real life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you're stronger now, and
Definitely,
more independent, and more of a direction in the
Yeah, I would say that, because I certainly would never allow that to ever happen to me again. I mean, I should have asked questions. Why am I turning up at this restaurant and throwing dirty looks? Then they film Alyssa and Joe having a meal together, with the two scenes together. So I never asked, why am I here? Why am I throwing dirty looks? Why am I waking up on a mattress? You know, I should have asked all these things, but again, because it was new, it was exciting. So, you know, we're starting a new reality TV show. What could go wrong? Yeah, obviously it's made me more, I suppose, less naive, more grown up. Definitely.
Okay. So if anybody else was thinking about taking on a role in a reality show of some kind, have you got any tips? Any tips for them? Any questions or anything that they should find out beforehand?
I would probably, I'd tell them to research what their character, you know, ask so many questions. What exactly is your character? What they intend for your character? Because I mean, the term reality TV, the only thing that has to be real really is your name. Because if the rest was real, then you're classed as a soap actress. Then you have to get paid as a soap actress. We're not actresses. We're just normal people where the cameras follow you around. They take snippets of your life and try and recreate a story. Obviously, the story has to be interesting, otherwise people wouldn't watch it. So they have to create a storyline to make drama and, certain situations that people can relate to.
Yeah.
So I would always say, you do have to be aware that it's not going to be about your life, it's going to be about an imagined, a created life. So find out what's going to happen, for your character. Don't kind of go in with eyes closed. And I mean, it's enjoyable. It can be an enjoyable experience as long as you're happy with what you are doing. You have to do what you want to do, not what the producers want to do. So as long as everything's on your terms, I would say, then yeah, go for it.
So you've been a year out, or after a year,
2 years now.
You've recovered from an ordeal. Can we call it an ordeal?
It was, definitely.
But also, when we're talking about an ordeal, and you having to deal with difficult situations, you had to put up with some very serious cyberbullying.
Yeah.
Would you like to just tell us a little bit about what happened, and then we just have a look at actually how you dealt with it?
Yeah, sure. So I would say the cyberbullying was kind of more or less an instant thing as soon as the first show aired. And I think it was just a reaction to kind of, my character as a whole. It wasn't a case that it was just women that didn't like me. Men were also kind of, they were writing comments. So my character wouldn't just, even though it was more it was insulting for women. I had men, women, kids, I had older, more mature people, I had every age. And even if the comments were kind of more or less based around, me having no respect for myself as a woman, then I would say, okay. But a lot of it was directed at my colour, my background, everything. So I couldn't understand why are people.
On Twitter, was it? Or?
It was all on Twitter, yeah. And it was just very hard to understand, well, why am I getting this and no one else? But this isn't me, they don't know me. So yeah, it was an instant thing, and then obviously it went from Twitter to on the street, and it was everywhere.
Would people abuse you as you walk past?
Everywhere I went, yeah. I've been spat at, everything.
Spat at?
Spat at, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's from episode 1?
Just from episode 1, yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. So you can imagine I had to keep filming and continuing this character.
Were you scared?
Oh, I was so scared. It got to the point where if someone even smiled at me on the street, I would think like, oh my God, is that the person that threatened me this morning off Twitter? Are they smiling? Are they going to come after me? Are they going to get me? Or I didn't like anyone looking at me because I just thought they know who I am. They know about me. They know my character. So it got to the point where it was like, I didn't go outside the door for nearly 3 months when filming finished. I started doing my shopping online. I started just confining myself to my safe place, which would be at home, because it was easier, and I didn't have to face anyone. I didn't have to explain to anyone, and I didn't have to put up, I suppose, with other people's judgments. Yeah.
Was it? You said it was old people, young people, men, women. Were there any individuals that were particularly vicious, particularly persistent amongst those?
Yeah, there was one guy in particular, and he's, I don't know why, but every day, without a doubt, he would take to Twitter and he would there were really racist remarks, and he just went on and on and on, and I ignored it. And other people would see it and they'd retweet it, encouraging him, and they agreed with it, and it was like, oh my God, is this going to stop? And I suppose I thought, if you ignore someone, they're going to eventually stop, but he didn't. So my management actually picked up on, because it was really racist, really, really bad stuff that he was saying. They picked up on it, and it was them who informed the police.
Okay.
And then the police obviously were able to track down his IP address, and then he got arrested, and he got 100 hours community service and fined as well.
Okay, so how long into the series was
This
this?
series was over at this
The
point.
series was over.
Yeah.
It was still going
Yeah.
on and on.
Still going on and on.
The main person, who was,
Yeah.
was it? He followed you on Twitter, did he?
I don't know if I can't remember if
But
he
he
followed me,
kept
but he kept
putting your
tweeting.
hashtag
Oh God,
and
yeah,
everything on there.
yeah.
Okay, so you could keep seeing it on your.
Oh yeah, he would
timeline.
mention me. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you count how many times he did it?
We kept like more or less.
So how many tweets do you think he made?
I'd say it's over 20 tweets. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And so your management helped.
They stepped in
Prosecute.
and they basically helped prosecute him. And I was in London the day he got prosecuted. It was in the paper.
You didn't go to the trial.
No, I didn't need to. The day it was in the paper, the local paper, that he got prosecuted, I was in London. My Twitter, people were calling me a rat for like getting this guy prosecuted. I thought, oh my God, I can't do anything right. But yeah, then people were having a little go because I got someone prosecuted. So
I think it's really important. I mean, it was one of the first, I believe, prosecutions
Yes.
to cyberbullying
Yeah,
in the UK.
yeah.
I think it's really important that our viewers know that the police do take cyberbullying seriously.
oh God,
don't
yeah,
they?
yeah,
So it's important to save the evidence, like you
exactly, yeah,
did. Collect all the evidence together, take the evidence to the police, and then from that point on, they can do their job.
Yeah.
And as you said, find out the IP and
Exactly.
ultimately locate the person,
Yeah.
and then put a prosecution.
but they were really, really quick. I mean, it was a case of I didn't have much faith. I thought, anyone can do, write these things from a computer and be anywhere. But they were so fast. I mean, I literally got a phone call about 2 weeks later saying, good news, we've located the IP address. We think we might have this person. Next minute, then he was caught.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you must have felt good.
Not really,
No?
because that was one of many.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one of them dealt with.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you do with the others?
I didn't, being honest. Rather than face what was going on, I became very secluded and kind of backed away from everything.
And it stopped now?
Oh God, yeah. Only now, 2 years later, where I feel I can walk down the street and confidently hold my head up and know who I am. And I don't think people are still judging me. But it's taken 2 years to get to that. Yeah.
So for you to almost
To be
not
over it.
reinvent yourself, but to actually show the world
Yeah.
who you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think because I don't care, other people don't care now.
I think that's part of it.
I think
isn't
I'm
it?
not showing weakness, and it's for people to kind of.
Bullies, they love to see the pain
Yeah.
that they cause, and if you show them that
Yeah.
it doesn't bother you,
Exactly.
even if it does,
Yeah, exactly.
they're less likely to do it.
Yeah.
So what are your tips? What are your top tips to stay strong and positive?
I would say the main tip would be to tell someone, to talk to someone. I kept a lot of what was going on to myself, and that was the worst thing I could have done. As soon as I told anyone, whether it be a friend, my management, boyfriend, how I felt and what the extent of what was going on, it felt like someone had lifted a huge weight off my shoulders. Finally, something could be done about this. I just felt like I kept a lot of it to myself for so long. I always pretended, yeah, it's okay, and it's not getting to me. So I would definitely say if you are being bullied or anything is happening, I would say talk to someone. That would be my number one. Number two, I just think it's okay to feel hurt. It is seriously okay. And that was a huge part for me because I studied mental health for 4 years previous. I was always always the other way around, where I was giving the help. I didn't accept that that I would soon need help myself. So it was quite hard to kind of understand that I needed help. So I just thought, I do. So that would be my second one. It is okay to say, I need help. Another thing I would probably think, anyone who bullies, I would say tend to have issues or problems or insecurities themselves. So I think it's not me, it's them. So that would be another thought on, on the whole
It's
thing.
a way of not holding on to
Exactly.
the things that they throw at you.
And that was something I questioned again for a long while. Why is it directed at me? Why am I the kind of receiving the whole backlash for everything? And I mean, racial abuse, is down to it's uneducation. It's not necessarily that I am what they're saying and things like that. So it's just understanding why someone will direct certain comments at other people. And yeah, that was another point probably that took me a long while to understand why was everything me. Yeah, and I just think now it's not me, it's them. So yeah, they would be my three main.
Did you keep the same Twitter account?
I did, and quite a few people asked me, make it private, or delete it and start a new one. And I thought, well, that's kind of giving in. Running away, yeah. And my Twitter is so positive now, and I'm delighted I haven't deleted it. Because even though it holds a lot of memories, but it's positive now. So if it was still going on, oh my God, yeah, I'd definitely delete it.
So I'm just thinking about your university education, and you touched upon it there. Even though you didn't complete it, you found a way to use it to help your own life as well.
Yeah, I did. I actually found, in the beginning, obviously, I couldn't understand what was going on, and I didn't really, things that I would be kind of helping patients, I wasn't able to use in my own life. And it wasn't until I kind of had a clearer head and was able to see everything from the outside that I started kind of nearly self-therapy on myself, and understanding what was going on. And it wasn't until I was at that point that I did kind of take little bits that I had learned from mental health and used in my own life. And yeah, it has been very, very helpful. Very, very helpful. So I think that's why I think everything happens for a reason.
Okay.
I could have done that course in order to help myself after. You just don't know what's in our path. So it probably has made me stronger as well, So that's my way of looking at it, because I just think it's such a shame to do all those years, not be able to finish, rather than looking at it in a negative point of view. I just think I had to do that course because that was going to help me later.
And also, you don't know what the future's going to bring.
Exactly.
In terms of, I'm sure there's, you'll probably have some offers in the future from universities saying, would you like to?
Hopefully, yeah.
To do that final year.
Exactly.
So away from the bullying, away from the bad stuff, what are your dreams and aspirations in life now?
Well, one dream, I've always wanted to work with animals since I can remember. And throughout school, I would always kind of go to careers class and say, I want to work in a zoo, or I want to work as a vet, and no one took me serious. So I was always like, yeah, Layla, go back to class. And I said it, kind of touched off it again, and later in life, when I finished school and I didn't know what I wanted to do in university, so I kind of took some time out. I was kind of thinking, what could I do at uni? What would I like to do? And again, it was other people's decisions kind of going, you don't want to be a vet, do you? And I was like, yeah, no, you're right. So I always listened to other people. So after obviously having gone to uni, then in the reality TV side of things, and then coming out the other end, which kind of stronger, more independent person, it's only now that I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to do this. So I'm now training as like a dog groomer. I'm doing a diploma in animal psychology.
Wow.
And I hope to open up my own doggy hotel and a dog model agency as well, because I've got like 15 years modeling experience.
Yeah.
There's a huge industry now for animals. You look at every advert and things like that. So that's the route I'm going down now with animals. So I'm linking in my modeling experience, obviously my mental health background. I'm going to focus on things like that. So I'm bringing all my experience. Exactly, yeah.
Wow. Layla, it's been brilliant talking with you today. Just before we finish, could you tell us, okay, you're a strong, independent, powerful woman, feminist. In today's society, how do you stay positive being a strong, independent woman?
I think the only way I stay positive is by being true to myself. I think if you know who you are inside, that will reflect on the outside. And that's probably that's probably the only way I get through life, is by knowing who I am and surrounding myself with positive people, like-minded people. And that way then you've got loyalties, you've got honesty, you've got, the main things in life that matter the most. Yeah.
Staying true to yourself and staying with positive people. Layla, thank you for being interviewed
You're
with
very
us
welcome.
today. This is Andy Hickson from Bullybox TV, signing off. Join us next time.